Hey, Robert, it's good to see you again,
Good to see
man.
you.
You been all right?
Very good. Very good. Been
Okay,
blessed.
awesome, man. All
Thank
right,
you.
well, last time we talked, you're still doing traffic tickets and things such as that, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We've been hitting the ground hard, and we've been representing the city of El Paso. We encompass all areas of El Paso, from the far east side to the central, south, lower valley, upper valley, west side, and
I saw that you have a West Side location now, Paso Traffic Ticket Firm West.
yes, we
Yeah.
have a office on the west side, and that allows everybody who lives west of, let's say, downtown area of El Paso,
Mm-hmm.
going west towards Canutillo, Anthony, Texas. We handle all those people on that side of town as well, so that they don't have to drive too far to, if they want to come to the office,
Okay.
they can do that. Or of course we have developed a system so they can do everything by their phone or online in case they can't come to the office. But yes, we have an office on the far west side now.
Cool. So you guys fight speeding traffic tickets. As a traffic ticket attorney, I'm sure you do all paper violations, right?
Oh yeah, we do any kind of paper violations, from speeding to registration to no insurance to uh, cops will give tickets for broken taillights, broken headlights. And really what it is they just want to pull you over so they can run your background, run your record to see if you have any active warrants, which is another very important thing. Is that if you have a ticket from a couple years ago, which a lot of people do, that they forgot about, please make sure you give us a call so that we can get those warrants removed and lifted.
Yeah, that happened to me one time, so
Yeah, and
it's
they
pretty
will
common.
they will arrest you if they see that you have an active warrant. You can get arrested at that spot, and that's the most unpleasant thing that you can go through, because they'll have your car impounded. You'll get arrested. You'll be taken to a booking station, and you'll be spending at least 6 to 10 hours in jail, unless you're not able to bond out. And I've known people that spent a couple months in jail for a traffic ticket.
Well, let me ask you a question. Once you get a warrant for a traffic ticket, can you handle it yourself, or do you need to hire a warrant lawyer for, or a traffic ticket lawyer for warrants? Can I go take care of that myself? And like, for example, let's say I got a ticket for speeding and I just never did anything. Can I still go to court and represent myself, or do you need to hire a lawyer at that point?
You can, but it's going to be a lot more expensive for you, because you're going to have to pay the entire warrant bond, which is going to be upwards of over $250.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to, there's very specific ways you're going to have to go in person to the court. You're going to have to pay it. And then you're going to have to request a court date. And then you're going to have to take time from work, school, to show up to court. And then once you get a court date, you're going to probably have to be spending several hours waiting in court for your case.
Mm-hmm.
And, for anybody who's not familiar with the law, it could be very frightening, because the state of Texas is going to have a highly experienced district attorney that's going to be looking for convictions on you. So you run the risk, it's very risky, that you will not only lose all the money that you paid for the warrant, but you'll get a guilty conviction on your record. But what I recommend, and the reason why, is if you hire me, I can get your warrants removed and lifted without you having to pay that warrant fee that the city assesses. We can do that for a very nominal fee, and you won't have to worry about having to go down in person, having to go get a cashier's check, money order. You don't have to worry about having a court date, spending hours of your time sitting in a courtroom.
Yeah, time is money for sure.
You don't have to worry about doing any of that. You don't have to. In fact, I don't even want my clients to go to court. It would be nice for my clients to see me fight in court, because they have no idea how hard I fight. But it's better that they don't go to court. I can represent them without the need for them to be there. And more times than not, once I get that case, I will get it dismissed, and they won't have to pay the warrant fee. They won't have to worry about getting arrested, and they won't have to worry about having a guilty conviction on their record by hiring me.
Oh, that's great. That's pretty convenient. And so even though you make one mistake, you can take care of it by hiring you to go to court and fight those violations.
Yes, yes, and you don't have to spend a significant amount of money. We're very reasonable, very affordable. You don't have to pay the $250 warrant fee that the city is going to want, and that's for each warrant. I've seen cities wanting to collect over $1,000 on people that have multiple warrants. You don't have to worry about paying that. All you need to do is either make a phone call, try to hire me online. We look at your history to find out where you have warrants. We file the appropriate paperwork to the court, letting him know that I'm representing you, to have no further communications with my client, to remove the warrant. I'll get a judge to sign an order that lifts that warrant. So automatically you can breathe a sigh of relief so that you don't have to worry about a police officer knocking on your door, wanting to arrest you, or going to your place of business and having the embarrassment of putting handcuffs on you in front of everybody and taking you out. You want to avoid that at all costs. And so my best recommendation is to you is, if you have a warrant, please call us right away. We can generally get your warrant removed within a matter of a day to 3 days.
That's a pretty quick turnaround time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's very important we do that as quickly as possible, because cops are out there everywhere in the city, and they're looking for people that have warrants, because it's a tremendous revenue income stream for the city. It's a big business for them to arrest people, to assess warrant fees, to lock you up. That's an incentive for them, and it's unfair, and it's not right, especially for people who are on low income that can't afford to pay the warrant fee.
Mm-hmm.
And we give you the opportunity to not have to go through that ordeal of having to spend time in jail. We will get that warrant lifted for you at a very low cost to you.
That's pretty good. So, you're a ticket attorney here in El Paso, Texas, and I'm sure you've seen all sorts of cases and things like that. Is it hard to dismiss a traffic ticket as an attorney? I'm sure you have to have some expertise, but because I noticed your reviews online, you guys have almost a 5.0 score, which is almost perfect. And what makes you a better, there's other lawyers, right? You have competitors and things like that. Is there something that you do that gives you such a high rating and such a high dismissal rate?
Yeah, it comes down to preparation, I think, more than anything. One of the things that I pride myself from all of my other colleagues is I will review your case personally and beforehand, instead of right at the time of court, so that I already have an idea of what the problems that I see in the case are. The police officers, the district attorney, they're human beings just like all of us, and they make mistakes. And my focus is on looking for those mistakes and pointing them out, and that's the best way to get a ticket dismissed. I've gone through a lot of experience in having been involved in certain issues with regards to the filing of the formal complaint, which is the charges being brought by you. There's certain requirements that have to be met, and I look for deficiencies and problems in those charging complaints that other lawyers may miss. And I know that through my experience, through research of case law, and I find those problems, issues all the time. And then the other thing I've come across is I'll come across with officers who are there to testify in the case, and it turns out that through their testimony, they didn't charge the correct offense. And I will find a way to get those cases dismissed as well for not charging the person with the correct offense, basically through talking with the police officer, because most of the time, unfortunately, the police officers do lie. They do make mistakes. And I am an expert at finding out those lies. Mm-hmm. And I know which officers to challenge on what they're claiming happened. And because I've been doing this for a very long time, and I've seen everything from lying officers to DAs misrepresenting what the actual charges should be. And if you don't have somebody experienced like I am, you're going to miss that. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have that guilty conviction on your record. You're going to have to pay tremendous amount of court costs, fines, and then once you have a record, you're going to have to deal with problems whenever you try to apply for any type of government position. Any type of government position is not going to hire somebody that has a traffic criminal history on their record, or anybody that
Mm-hmm.
requires you to do driving for a living, they're not gonna want to take any liability and risk by hiring somebody who has a record. So it's very important that you hire an experienced lawyer to keep your record clean and to fight the police and to do everything that they can to make sure that your case gets dismissed.
Cool.
And
Yeah, I'm
that is what I do.
just going through your site. Looks like you guys do occupational driver's licenses as well too. Can you kind of expound on that a little bit? Just kind of what that is and what the process is to get that. If I'm
Yeah,
a customer, a client of yours looking to get that.
basically it's a situation where anybody who had at one point a typically most people have what we call Class C driver's licenses. That's where when you went to driver's ed when you were young, or you took a test at the Department of Public Transportation and you passed, and they give you your license. Well, there are certain situations that can come about later in life that the state of Texas can actually suspend your license or revoke it. And it's either because of traffic tickets or because you were charged with a serious criminal offense like driving while intoxicated or driving without financial responsibility, what we commonly know as insurance. The state of Texas will suspend your license, and that's happened quite often. And what happens once you get your license suspended, you're not legally allowed to drive anywhere in the city for any reason. And so what we do is we give people an opportunity to be legal, to drive their vehicle for purposes of work, for purposes of school, for purposes of medical necessity. If you've got a loved one who's sick, you need to take them to the doctor for treatment. You can be legal. You don't have to worry about getting pulled over and being arrested for driving with a suspended license. We give you that opportunity to get what's called a occupational license, which is kind of like a temporary license that allows you to drive legally. It's good for up to 2 years. We can get it longer if you need more time. Some people, it's going to take them time to get their license situated because of traffic tickets or reinstatement fees that they owe. Those costs can be very high. And so what we do is, in the meantime, while you're trying to work out to get your license back, we can give you a way to quickly, with low cost to you, to be able to drive legally on the street. And we can generally get you a license within a matter of a few days.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you do these speeding tickets and stuff like that. What happens if I get a traffic violation and I just decide I just put it in my glove box and I just forget about it?
That's, unfortunately, that's pretty common. We all have very busy lives. We've got personal issues that we're dealing with, stress
But what
related
will
issues.
happen though? Like, what are the consequences?
Well, if you forget about it, which is common, which happens, typically after 30 days, the court will issue what's called a warrant, because whenever you sign that ticket, you promise to appear usually within 20 days to answer your citation, whether you're going to plead guilty to it or not guilty. If you fail to do that within those 20 days after you got the ticket, they'll issue what's called a violate. You violated your promise to appear in court. That's what happens when the officer asks you to sign the ticket. And so that warrant gets generated. And what that does is that it's basically a piece of paper that says that at any time you can be arrested. You're subject to arrest. And what will happen is, if you're in a car and you've got this active warrant, they'll pull you over and they'll run your information. They'll see you have an active warrant. They'll more than likely you'll get arrested right there, or you'll get arrested at your home.
But you can help with those too, right?
We can help with those. It's important that you call us so that you can avoid paying all the warrant fees and having to go through the embarrassment of getting arrested. You give us a call. We can get those warrants removed for you at a very low cost, and we can get those warrants lifted for you within a matter of a few days.
That's amazing. Well, that's cool. Well, it's good to see that you got another location conveniently located on the west side. So anybody that needs a traffic ticket lawyer near them and you live in that part of town, they can just hop to your office, call you, or hire online. Is that correct?
Yes. We have offices throughout El Paso. So we make it very accessible to anybody, depending on what area of town you live on. But yes, most definitely the far west side, Anthony, Conatillo, Sunland Park area. If you have a ticket and you're in that area, you live in that area, we have an office very close to you.
Cool. And so Paso Traffic Ticket Firm West. You guys are located at 7362 Remcon Circle, El Paso, Texas, 79912. And let's see what your guys' phone number is going to be. 915-200-1133. That's great. Also, I noticed you guys' Google reviews. You guys have a 5.0. It's perfect.
Yes,
That's pretty impressive.
We've had the privilege of representing the city of El Paso for several years now, and we've been able to establish a reputation, a good reputation for fighting these traffic tickets, and that's what we're here to do.
That's amazing. Okay, well, Robert, thank you. It's good to see you again.
All right, take care.
You
Thank
too, man. Thanks.
Bye bye.